Cool. All right. Corinne, thanks again for meeting with me today. I just have a few questions that I'll go through. And
You're very welcome.
if at any time you don't want to answer, that's fine. You can skip a question. No
Okay.
big deal. So my first question is, how has your life changed since March?
It's actually changed very drastically. Before this whole COVID thing, I was in the middle of process of buying a home. Was really working up for it and everything, and then unfortunately the person that was selling us our home ended up coming to find out when he was tested for COVID and stuff, he was deported to El Salvador, and we ended up losing the buying of our home when we went to sign for our house. And we had to quickly, because we were living in a friend's house at the time that was in foreclosure and they were doing a quick sale, me and my fiance had to quickly scramble together what little bit of money we had left from like pension loans and everything else, and scramble together to find a home to rent for our 4 kids, and ended up finding a house over here on Park Avenue. But it's been a real struggle because I went from only going to be paying $1,200 a month to now scrounging pennies to pay $1,500 a month for rent, plus also utilities, all the water bill, the whole nine. So it's really put a dent in my financial situation, because with taking out the loans and stuff, I had to just recently take out another pension loan from my work to help pay for the past 2 rents, to try to like get back up to speed and everything like that. And even now, coming up with November and everything, it's just been absolutely horrible. It's been so hard for me and my fiance. He's an actual tattoo artist, and he can't even work in a shop or anything like that, really, because like so many of the COVID patients and everything, he actually has had spinal meningitis twice, and also has diabetes and stuff. So it's really hard for him to find work. So right now at this time, it's like basically I'm the main breadwinner, and just being able to try to make ends meet, and like even just trying to find like even jobs online, you know, like even like the sticker thing, any which way that I could try to find extra money for, especially with Christmas coming up and everything. It's just been like I've been going through a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. I've been going to group therapies because of it, even one-on-one therapies, because of how much of a big onslaught of depression I've gone through because of this whole situation, and not being able to go back to, even though that I'm still working for the state of New Jersey and I'm working remotely from home, I'm doing maybe less than half of what I used to do for them. And before, I used to be able to get overtime and stuff like that, and that really helped with us. And now it's just like I'm just doing like maybe 2-3 things of like telephone repairs for the state offices, and then that's it. I'm about $18,000 in debt with my pension, and it's going to take me about 3 years to pay it off, to even get back up to my regular paycheck standards. So it's like, from what people don't understand in the government, that, and still with a lot of these programs, is that they still base it on your gross, when in actuality your net is far below that poverty line. And it's really putting people in danger from having to take out so many loans and everything, and then having to pay them back at such higher interest rates and everything, that it's putting people in danger of losing their homes, having their electric possibly shut off, their water shut off, not being able to provide food for their families and stuff. Like literally my bank account right now is in the negatives, and thanks to the YMCA, if it wasn't for you guys and the other outreach programs, I wouldn't really have any much food in my refrigerators. So I really appreciate everything that you guys have done for us and for our children, and providing lunches for them every day. I really commend you guys for that.
a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that you're going through so much.
I mean, even going to CSL, this is another place that I go to try to make money. I actually go there and I actually give them my plasma, and when they take out your plasma, they actually pay you up to, you can like every 2 days or whatever, you can actually go there if you're 18 and older, have an ID and also proof of residency and stuff. You can actually go there. And they will buy your plasma from your blood and replace your red blood cells and everything. And they will put money on a loaded prepaid Visa card for you. So that's, you know, you can get up to $450 a month. So that's a little bit of an extra income and everything.
Yeah.
So, but with like some people who have iron deficiencies and stuff like that, they got to be careful and make sure that the iron is really high, because if your iron is low, they won't take you. But it's, you know, but at the same time, I'm also saving lives. For every liter or pint of plasma that I'm giving, it's saving burn victims, people that are that have prenatal issues, that have that, like, there's other vitamins and minerals that use actual human plasma in them and everything. So even though that I'm trying to scrounge money and everything, I'm still helping out for a cause at the same time.
Yeah, well, and I was going to ask you, what act of kindness have you done? I mean, clearly that is a huge life-saving act of kindness. What act of kindness has been done for you?
This. Just basically just everything that the YMCA that has been doing for us, for as far as like donating food and everything. That's really it. Some people, like if I've gone to a store, there was like a time where I was having an issue with one of my bank cards and everything, and the person actually behind me actually paid for my food for me.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. So you know, it really has brought out a lot of humanitarian things in a lot of people, where versus before it was just like people would just like look and frown upon people, when now they're in the same shoes as those people now. So it's kind of lightening people's hearts and giving them more compassion.
Yeah. What would you say have been your sources of strength, or who have you been able to lean on?
Like I said, Catholic Charities is who my go-to people are for my therapy, for both my group therapy and also my one-on-one therapy. Just even speaking to my boyfriend himself, and you know, my family, my neighbors. But mainly, I give a lot of thanks to Catholic Charities for helping me out with it. You know, with being able to really talk to somebody professionally about my situations and stuff.
Good.
And also to be able, with the group therapy through Catholic Charities, be able to share experiences of my life with other people and them sharing theirs as well with me.
Yeah, building that network and strength. Yeah. And what would you say has been one of your greatest disappointments as a result of the pandemic?
The greatest disappointment is that our Senate and our government cannot make agreements for the help that we need. That they're both going back and forth. Basically, you know, it seems like it's being all one-sided. Like, one side just doesn't want to, you know, the Democrats, I give them a lot of credit. They've been trying to find every which way to make things, you know, agreeable for the Republican Senate to be agreeable on packages, but it just seems like the Republican side just wants to keep on shutting them down and everything. And us people, we do need these stimuluses. Even us people who work for the state government and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not one of those people that make hundreds of thousands of dollars as some of these higher ups in the government and everything like that. That first stimulus check, it actually helped me get out of somewhat of debt, but now I'm back in debt again. And you know, it's something's got to give. There's, you know, I mean, for a while, I was actually, the state government even put us state workers on furloughs where we weren't getting paid for a whole month, and we actually had to go through the anxiety and the anguish of going through unemployment and having to report report our weekly things and everything like that. And it's like, if you answered a question wrong in any type of certain way, your pay got held back, and that week or something you didn't eat. You didn't eat at all, or you had to eat, whatever little bit of money that you could scrounge up for the dollar store or something, just to even get a box of spaghetti, or even coming here to get food. They just need to just put everything aside, whether you're Republicans or Democrats, and just be real people, and not be a part of a political party. Just be human. And realize what the struggles of what humanity is really going through. We don't have their hundreds of thousands of dollars that they make every day. We don't have cushy cars and jobs and stuff that they get to live in lavish homes and stuff like that, and dress in fine well suits. We live in a normal society of where it's, that we need to rely on each other more than we need to rely on our government, because our government would rather turn our backs on us and say, forget yous, we're fine, and figure it out yourselves. And that's my biggest disappointment.
Yeah. So, what have been some of your main or most trusted sources of information about COVID-19?
Basically, the things that I get from work, we have, because I'm part of a union and everything, they send out newsletters every day about updates and everything like that. There's also on the New Jersey NJ.gov main website for the state of New Jersey, there is a huge information website just dedicated for mass information on COVID-19 in the state of New Jersey, and where people can get tested, what Governor Murphy has been trying to implement, try to not implement, what, all the different testing sites, and much information about how to, to try to just stay up with it, and try to, because even though that they're saying, now people are getting it yet again. People that have been in remission or say that they're cured from it and everything, they're starting to get it again. And now because of that, the strain's going to get even more stronger and more susceptible to people that are weaker. So that's where I've been mainly getting most of my information from.
Yeah. What resources have you benefited that have come out of the information that you've gotten from online and from your union and the other sources that you mentioned?
I've actually, I went and got tested. There's a COVID testing place right on Olden Avenue, which used to be the old Rite Aid. That's how I found out about them being there, and was tested for COVID, and everything came out clean. Everything, my whole family. And so that was beneficial from them. Different tricks of how to keep my house sanitized when people do come in, and everything, and how to just basically just try to live not a germ-free life, but just build up as many antibodies as I can, so our family doesn't get as sick as they would.
So if and when a vaccine does come out, do you or your family plan on getting it?
I'm a little worried about that, because of the fact that like I said, my fiance, he has diabetes, he has congestional problems with his chest, and he's had spinal meningitis and everything like that. So, and I've never been, ever since I was a kid, after I was once I was a certain age, my parents never inoculated me for flu vaccination, so my antibodies have always been natural. So I'm kind of on the fence about it, because of the health risks due to my my fiance, and what it could cause if I did it. Could it actually affect him?
Right.
So it's, you know what I mean? So it's I really don't see us getting it.
Yeah.
But unless there was more solid facts, more solid proof behind it, and not just assumptions or anything like that, and actual data that I can particularly see, that it's fully working and also wiping out mass areas of the COVID, then maybe I would. But until then, if the numbers still keep on climbing and everything, even with that vaccination, then no.
Okay. And so you mentioned that you've been going to Catholic charities. Have you had any additional conversations with healthcare providers or other service providers specific to COVID-19?
No.
Okay. And what do you think New Jersey could have done better?
I think we could have not waited so long. I think Governor Murphy kind of dropped the ball on it in a way. As far as not taking it as seriously, because at first it just seemed so minuscule that they thought that it was just going to be something that was just going to like pass like other things like the bird flu or mad cow disease or Ebola or E. coli, and they really didn't grasp how fast widespread that this really took over. It's like almost like a zombie movie. Like it only took one to spread out to millions in just a matter of moments or days or weeks. And they really just dropped the ball with not getting out that knowledge as fast as they could have.
And if there was one thing that you or someone else could have done differently during all of this, what would it be?
Not try to buy my house and put myself in bigger debt, and would have stayed in a place that was more reasonable and more cost effective instead of being in such a financial debt.
Yeah. Now, do you think that you had mentioned that the landlord or the guy who was selling the house, he got COVID and then got deported? Did he get deported because they found out he had COVID, or? He got deported because they found out that he was an illegal immigrant when he went to go get tested. They actually found out that he was a legal immigrant and he was using an alias name that he was using for 15 years. Wow.
Because when they were doing the testings and stuff like that, he was also going to court because he was going for extra custody time, and he had to get tested for COVID and everything, and before even to go into the court and everything like that, they also did other testings and everything and found out that his name wasn't matching up with his DNA and stuff like that, and he ended up come to find out he was deported and was from El Salvador, and they couldn't sell us the house.
Oh my God. Wow. I'm so sorry that, what are the odds,
Yeah.
What are the odds? So, who or what communities do you feel have been left out of the emergency response?
I think the lower middle class, people that make over a certain amount of money a year, people that make even less than $50,000 a year. I mean, even 50,000, people think that 50,000 a year is a lot, but in technical terms, it really isn't, because that's gross, not net. And like I said, that it has no effect. If anything, it hurts us even more. So it's just, people like our community, our whole entire neighborhoods, all of Triton, even Hamilton Township themselves, even people that have these nice homes that are out, these condos and stuff like that. A lot of them lately, I've heard, are literally selling their furniture just to make their mortgage payments and literally have nothing in their homes, but still live out in Robbinsville and larger areas that are normally upscale, but that now are even being affected by this coronavirus, because they have lost their jobs due to the coronaviruses and such, like certain offices and stuff like that can't actually physically be open and everything. And these people who lived out in these big nice homes and everything, now they're living basically almost in a higher class of a cardboard box with nothing in it. It may look nice on the outside, but on the inside it's totally different.
Right. And with that, you mentioned that you have kids. What's your
My son is 17. My fiance's kids are both 19, 17, and 10.
and how are they doing with the virtual?
They're doing really well with the virtual. My son absolutely loves it. He attends the Hamilton Education Program. He presently right now resides with my sister due to districting and everything, but he really loves it, and he actually just got into the Mercer County vocational for masonry, carpentry, electrical, and plumbing, and they're doing it online right now. Unfortunately, they tried to do the hybrid over at Hamilton High School West, and unfortunately we've gotten news that 3 students have already tested positive for COVID, so it's putting it's a step back once again step back because they're trying to move forward too fast in a way now that it set them back again. And now they're still having to do this work from, the schoolwork from home and everything. But my son feels more comfortable, more healthier, and it keeps his anxiety levels down and everything, because he has anxiety issues, and he has issues with germs and stuff like that. So he's better off doing the work from home.
Yeah. Good. Well, Corinne, is there anything else that you want to share that I didn't ask? Anything that you think the state or the YMCA
just
or people in general
should know? Just be kind to each other. Don't look down on anybody because of what they don't have. Because even the people who look like they have it all really don't have it all. Never judge a book by its cover. Always try to pay it forward when you can. Because when you try to pay it forward in your own way, somehow, some way, when you need it the most, somehow something magical happens and it comes back to you 4 times fold.
I love that. Thank you.